Okay, finally tonight on the awards, we have two very, very distinguished awards to be presented tonight. They're our Meritorious Service Award and our Virginia Raskin Award. And it's only fitting, we thought, that the winner of the Meritorious Service Award last year, Marcia Lehman, who is on the awards committee, introduce the winners of those two awards, the Meritorious Service Award and the Virginia Raskin Award. So here's Marcia.
Thank you. And as Roseanne said, yeah, lots of people could tell stories about me. Guess what? I can tell lots of stories too. And this is one of my opportunities. Now, for those who got certificates and badges and pins tonight, membership sent out a notice saying, you know, your name's on the list, so please come. That's not the case for these two winners. They didn't know, and neither one of them is in the room. But let me share first the Meritorious Service Award. Both of these awards are documented on the website. Any member can nominate a person for this award. It is an annual award. Once you win, you don't win again. The Meritorious Service is to recognize a member who has made outstanding contribution over a significant period of time and is still really engaged. It's not patting you on the back on your way out. This year's winner is Mike Smith. Is he on Zoom? I can't see all 29 people, but it's unusual for Mike to miss a meeting, but since he wasn't told he was getting the award, you know, something else probably came up. No, I don't think a ball game. Most folks know that Mike is the project leader out at Concord United Methodist Church Community Gardens. What you might not know is that when the gardens started in 2014, Mike was not a master gardener. Harry Tucker was. Harry and Mike started the garden together, but Mike was not yet a master gardener. So Harry would come to every monthly meeting that spring and say, we've got this new garden out at Concord and we could use some help. And after three monthly meetings, I decided to go over and said, oh my God, yes, you do. And that's how I started to volunteer at Concord. At the end of the season, Mike said, now you're going to come back next year, right? And the first year, most of what I did was teach people how to take care of tomatoes. And when you've got 3 70-foot rows of tomatoes, you get a lot of practice. So at the end of the season, Mike says, you're coming back next year. And I say, under 2 conditions. 1, you get rid of the overhead watering. And that's when they moved from the aerial sprinklers to soaker hoses. And the second is, you will take the master gardener training. Here's an application. Here's the addressed envelope with a stamp. All you need to do is sign your name and send it in. And that's how Mike became a master gardener. If you look at the project page for that garden, you would see, because it gives the whole history in the video that's on the project page, that it started as a summer garden in 2014. In 2015, it became a 3-season garden. In 2016, it became a year-round garden and still is. And it was 2016 at the State Award where Concord won a Search for Excellence prize. A second garden was added in 2017. And all this time, Harry was still involved. Harry focused on the plants and Mike worked on all the logistics. He made sure the volunteers always had the transplants, they had the tools, they had whatever supplies were needed. And as Harry started to have some health issues, Mike just took over all the responsibilities. So for the last several years, he's run that project solo. It's a big job. If you've never seen the garden, it's 2 former house lots. The gardens never slowed down during COVID. although there were some extra steps in cleaning and sanitizing tools and maintaining some distance from other people, and you couldn't enter the shed without wearing a mask. So it's, hey, you, would you go in the shed and get this tool for me? Mike toiled away in the fall of 2020. In fact, Lisa Krisda and I were working in one section of the garden on a Monday morning. Mike and John Randall were in another section, and Lisa and I never realized that Mike had fallen. Mike broke his wrist. He had to have it surgically repaired, but that same Monday night, he was on the Zoom session of our monthly meeting. He never missed a work session. He came with his surgically repaired wrist and did what he could and gave directions and took care of all the logistics. And as you know, the gardens have 2 morning work sessions each week, plus, and those go all year round. There's a Thursday evening work session when we're on daylight savings time. Since 2014, the gardens have produced roughly 75,000 pounds of organically grown produce. And that goes to somewhere between 12 and 14 organizations, many of which are food pantries. We also, in 2021, submitted an application to the International Master Gardener Conference and took 2nd place in community service at the garden. So it's won Search for Excellence as both the state and a 2nd place internationally. As for Mike, the records show, all those numbers we load, that he has accrued between 500 and 600 hours every year since becoming a master gardener. And most of those hours were at Concord. And of course, he had probably that many the year before he became a master gardener. So with all those results, Mike Smith is clearly this year's Meritorious Service Award winner. And you may not know, but when you go to the extension office, someday they'll get real space, but when you go to the extension office, there is actually a plaque, and the plaque does have Mike's name on it already. So we were one step ahead of that this year. The second award is the Virginia Raskin Award. And if that name doesn't mean anything to you, Virginia Raskin was the very first president of Knox County Master Gardeners. Caesar, Sheila, and I had a chance to have lunch with her adult daughter because Virginia is long deceased. Quite the character, and as the history project gets rejuvenated, there will be a chapter on Virginia Raskin. The Virginia Raskin Award is for someone who's been a member for a significant period of time, but can no longer contribute in the way that he or she used to, for age or health or other reasons. Our past winners include Harry Tucker and John Payne. This year's winner, again, who did not get notice in advance, is John Butler.
John,
And
go
I
ahead and
can't-
turn your camera on.
I can't tell if he's on Zoom or not. He is. Where is he?
I'm on Zoom.
Is there some way we can feature John Butler?
Yes.
I'm there. Hey,
Oh, there he is. Okay.
what in the world?
So John became a master gardener in 2010, back in what I call the old predates me, when you didn't start to earn volunteer hours until after you finished your training. Now we encourage you to get involved early on and find a place that really fits for you. In 2013, he earned his first pin for volunteering more than 100 hours in a year. And then he volunteered roughly 100 hours each year from 2013 through 2019, when he earned his 10-year gold badge. Coincidentally, that was also the year that he needed to slow down a bit. And if you see John, he is often carrying his cane. But he didn't stop. He simply switched from some of the more hands-on projects to more of the administrative type tasks. So even if you can't get down on your knees and dig in the soil anymore, there's still a role for you in Master Gardeners. I just want to run through some of the places that John has earned hours over the years. He has done Ask a Master Gardener in the office and in the field. Those were the original category names. He's done Ask a Master Gardener at farmers markets at both Lakeshore, when they used to have a farmers market, and at Ebenezer. There used to be a category called Community Garden Advising. He did HUG, Habitat Urban Gardens. He logged some time at Second Presbyterian Courtyard Garden. He volunteered at Westview Elementary School. He has volunteered at the Bloom Center, which is newer, at UT Gardens, and he's done, as I say, some administrative work. Again, back in the old days, John was the social chair. And if you've ever had a chance to chat with John, you know he almost always starts the conversation with a joke. Have you heard the one about? Okay, the laughter confirms that. However, my favorite story about John is from November of 2014. November is when we hold elections. However, no nominating committee had ever been named. So we show up at the meeting and the agent was not present and the president was not present. And John, knowing parliamentary procedure, proceeded to run the elections and all nominations came from the floor. Thank you, John.
Who's talking?
Since becoming a master gardener, John has accumulated nearly 1,000 hours in a wide range of projects and committees. And while he may have slowed down, don't shoot me, John, but I think he's 88. So I hope I'm still going that strong. He continues to show up and weigh in on important matters. And it is for that wide range of service over more than a decade that John Butler is this year's winner of the Virginia Raskin Award.
Wow.
And there is also a plaque for that hangs in the extension office. Yep. John, your name is on it. It's